The Disappearance of Kyle Vaughan. December the 30th, 2012 was a cold, rainy night in South Wales. 24-year-old Kyle Vaughan left the home he shared with his parents in the late afternoon to attend a party that day. Little did his parents know, when he left their house that day, it would be the last time they would ever see him again. Kyle Vaughan was born on March the 8th, 1998. To his parents Alan and Mary. Kyle had one brother, a son from a previous relationship of Alan's. At the time of his disappearance, his family were living in Newbridge, Caerphilly in South Wales. Kyle was lovingly described by others as a family-oriented young man who was larger than life. Kyle's dad Alan described him, saying, "Kyle was a party animal and he loved astonishing us. He did a lot of charity work for cancer charities because of his mum, and he was very brainy with computers." Kyle also had a love of rock music, which prompted his parents to buy him a set of drums, which he in turn taught himself to play perfectly. At the time of Kyle's disappearance, he was working for Unilever in production technology, and he was thought of very highly in the company. Kyle had an extremely close relationship with his mother Mary. Alan worked away a lot, which caused Kyle and Mary to develop a strong and close bond with each other. Mary and Kyle were both diabetic, and Kyle would do his best to look after his mother and her health. Mary had also only recently recovered from cancer at the time of Kyle's disappearance. Kyle left his home around 5 p.m. on the 30th of December 2012. He had made plans that day to attend a party in Abercarn. At some point during the night, Kyle left the party and apparently visited a pub in Risca. Those who were alleged to have seen him at the pub and those who seen him at the party described his behaviour as normal. After spending a brief time at the pub, he left to return to the party in Abercarn. However, Kyle never made it back to that party. Kyle had been last seen on the A467 bypass between Risca and Cross Keys between 11 p.m. and 11:45 p.m. At approximately 11:45 p.m, police found Kyle's silver Peugeot 306 abandoned, and it was apparent that it had been involved in a crash. But Kyle was nowhere to be found. The police came to the family's home around 3 a.m. on December the 31st and told Alan that they were arresting him for driving under the influence of alcohol and leaving the scene of a collision. Alan was confused at first, but then quickly realised that the car they were referring to was the car that he and Mary had bought Kyle for Christmas. He was even more confused after going to see Kyle's car, and he spoke of that moment, saying, "I went down and saw the car and thought, how did he walk away from that? I have seen accidents like that before where people have died." Because Kyle was diabetic and received regular insulin injections, it was incredibly unlikely that Kyle would willingly disappear, and his parents knew this. They put out a statement about his disappearance, stating, "For Kyle to go missing is totally out of character. He would always be in constant contact with his mother every day, and now we are heartbroken." They also urged anyone who had any information about what could have happened to Kyle to come forward. Searches began to try and find Kyle, from police helicopters and canine search teams to large groups of family and friends. Within a month of his disappearance, officers had analysed 200 hours of CCTV footage from 100 locations and taken more than 230 statements. 2 undertakers came forward and spoke to police to allege that they had witnessed the accident and had seen Kyle get out of the car and even briefly spoke to him before eventually leaving the scene. Mary and Alan stated they believed that there were people out there who had information that was extremely vital to the case, but that they were holding back this information due to fear of their own safety. On January the 11th, 2013, the investigation into Kyle's disappearance was upgraded from a missing person case to a murder investigation. Kyle's brother spoke at the time, saying, "We feel numb and we are sick with worry about what might have happened to him." Over 12 days, between January the 10th to January the 22nd, Gwent police arrested 8 people in connection with the murder investigation. 2 of those individuals were arrested on suspicion of murder, 2 on suspicion of perverting the course of justice, and 4 on suspicion of assisting an offender. All of the defendants were released on bail shortly after, pending further investigation. In June 2013, Crime Stoppers issued an appeal for information about Kyle's suspected murder and issued a reward for £5,000. By November of 2013, police had analysed more than 1,800 pieces of personal property, including more than 180 mobile SIM cards. Police also investigated approximately 4,800 mobile phone contacts and over 10,000 lines of telecoms data, including text messages. Unfortunately, a blow came to the investigation in December 2013, when it was decided by Gwent police that 5 of the 8 people who had been arrested would have no further action taken against them in connection with Kyle's disappearance. The 2 men arrested on suspicion of murder had their bails extended until April 2014, and a teenager arrested on suspicion of assisting an offender was also still under investigation. Detective Chief Superintendent for Gwent Police, Peter Jones, spoke on the first anniversary of Kyle's disappearance, saying, "This is one of the most extensive investigations I have worked on, and being a year on without finding Kyle is obviously extremely difficult and upsetting for his family." In February of 2014, Kyle's mother Mary announced that she had been diagnosed with liver cancer and it was terminal. Mary said her last wish was to see Kyle be buried before she died. Kyle's father wrote in a letter to the public, "All she wants to do is bury her son before she dies." What hurts the most is that there are people out there reading this right now who could put us out of our misery, but they are choosing not to. We wouldn't wish this on anyone. Another year went by with no huge developments into the investigation, and then in February of 2015, the 3 individuals who had remained under investigation by Gwent police were released without charge. Gwent police continued to insist that the case was very much still active, and they urged yet again that anyone with information call 101 or Crime Stoppers. In October of 2016, Kyle was formally presumed dead by the High Court, and Mary and Alan received a presumption of death certificate almost 4 years after their son went missing. Then, almost 5 years to the day after Kyle disappeared, Mary passed away on New Year's Day of 2018 at just 56 years old. Alan spoke of his wife's death. He stated, "I always said, Mary didn't die from liver cancer. She died from a broken heart." Alan appeared on Crime Watch Roadshow in 2020, pleading for anybody to come forward with any information they may have, and gave a reconstruction of events from that night. He was told they received a good number of tips after his appearance, but every tip led to a dead end. In September of 2021, Crime Stoppers doubled their previous award of £5,000 to £10,000 for any information relating to Kyle's disappearance. A Justice for Kyle Vaughan Facebook page was set up shortly after, in the hopes that it could raise awareness about Kyle's case and possibly put pressure on those with vital information to come forward. Alan said, "When people die in car accidents or from natural causes, unfortunately, it happens, but their families get to bury them, and we never got that privilege. Every day I feel so demoralized because there are at least 50 people who know what happened to our son and they won't say. I just want whoever did this to be put away for the rest of their lives. Did you see anything on the A467 bypass between Risca and Crosskeys that night? Anyone who has any information relating to Kyle's disappearance are advised to contact Gwent Police at 101 and quote the log number 397 of the 30th of the 12th, 2012. You can also contact Crime Stoppers completely anonymously on 0800 555 111. For more information on this case, please visit www.somebodyknowsmore.com.
With your band playing, okay, we're going to ask you a few questions, right? Number one, why?
Why?
Yeah.
Why not?
That's a good question, that's a good question.
Oh, sure.
Number two, hard play or cold play?
Hard fight.
Number three.